Hey everyone, I hope you all are having a good day and that you all have been safe through all the storms and the flooding and the winds and stuff tonight. I know I'm doing my live video just a little early today. Our power's been out and it's back on, but the way the wind's blowing up here, I thought I'd better go ahead and do it while I had some power. So I'm going to read a story to you guys today. I'm going to read you a book. It's one of my daughter's favorite books. And then we're going to make a cool craft, okay? So, I'm going to read to you The Great Smoky Mountain Salamander Ball. So, springtime is the perfect time to look and find salamanders under piles of leaves and under rocks. And there's all kinds of different salamanders. They're all super cool to look at. And this book's going to talk a little bit about taking care of the environment where a salamander lives. And we know it's very important to take care of the environment where any animal lives at for sure, and not litter, because litter is harmful not only to us but also to animals. Alright. And this book is by Lisa Hortzman. On top of the car roof, the camp gear was stacked, and into the car with their suitcases packed went both Sarah's parents, with Sarah there too. They had places to go. They had fun things to do. Sarah wiggled and squiggled inside the big car and asked, "Are we there yet?" because it seemed so far. They were bound for the Smokies, that wonderful spot where hikes would be hiked and fish would be caught. There they are in their car, headed to the Smoky Mountains. Once in the Smokies, the days went by fast, with hiking and swimming and fishing lines cast. Sarah learned lots about mountains and trees, why some trees have needles, why some trees have leaves. The mountains and Sarah were no longer strangers. She joined the ranks of the park's junior rangers. She worked hard to earn a nice shiny badge awarded to her by Park Ranger Madge. And there is Park Ranger Madge and Sarah herself. Picking up litter had been quite a chore. Hiking was tough, though she liked to explore. But she knew of one kid who cheated and lied. He'd bragged about hiking he'd not even tried. And that isn't all. There was more Sarah knew. He's not just a liar, but a big bully, too. He'd yank off the tail of a little red newt before it escaped and hid under a root. This guy's really mean. Then came the night Sarah just couldn't sleep. Dreams wouldn't come, so she tried counting sheep, till she heard a strange noise and peeked from her tent, and sneaked through the darkness with no one's consent. Poking through trees, she came to a hollow. She saw teeny footprints and started to follow. Crunch! She looked down. A small piece of paper. There in the dark, it had almost escaped her. I wonder what it could be. It seemed to be some kind of fine invitation, of which Sarah studied with great fascination. She held it up close to the eyes in her head and started to read it. Here's what it said. To salamanders big, to salamanders small, come one, come all, to the salamander ball. We'll have a big party, yes, this much is true, with feasting and dancing and playing games too. Oh, that sounds like so much fun. Salamander ball. I wonder what they'll do at this salamander ball. Then what she saw she couldn't resist. She just had to follow, for there in the mist salamanders busily heeded the call to where she now knew the salamander ball. They all reached a clearing on top of a mountain, and someone yelled loudly, "A ball's to be startin'." A small band of crickets then started to play as the guests wandered in on a fancy pathway. And there's the picture of their pathway. It's looking pretty interesting. First, a hellbender marched in with great zest, with plans to win big in the ugly contest. Next came a pygmy, the smallest of small. He took a high place. It made him look tall. The zigzag salamanders all zigzagged in time to the beat of a drummer while standing in line. Behind them the red cheeks swayed to the beat, admiring their blushes to see Behind them the red cheeks swayed to the band, admiring their blushes to see who was grand. Aren't those really pretty? They look like they got on cheek blush, don't they? The mud salamander bathed just for the occasion and found a dance partner without much persuasion. On went the dancing, they all kept time well. They rumbaed and cha-cha'd and polka'd pell-mell. They moved up the mountain in pack after pack. Now there were so many that Sarah lost track. So many colors and so many sizes, so many talents, all hoping for prizes. And here's another picture of them dancing, having a great time. Laughing and watching from her hiding spot, Sarah saw weird things until she got caught. 2 alert newts called out, "It's a spy!" Sarah stopped laughing and tried not to cry. Everyone froze. This was not a good thing. The salamander ball was a top secret fling. They circled around her and grumbled and glared. They all moved in closer, and Sarah got scared. Wonder what those salamanders are going to do to her now that she got caught. "What to do now?" yelled a voice above all. "No human has been to our salamander ball. It's ruined for sure. Forget having more. The ball would be crowded with humans galore." Sarah was sorry that she'd spoiled their fun, and just when their party had barely begun. But then someone called amid the uproar, let's make this girl an ambassador." An ambassador, somebody who's going to stand up for the salamanders and take care of them. "What's that?" they all muttered, craning their heads, as up stepped Simon, blushing bright red. He was a true leader, somewhat of a brain. They all stopped to listen. He began to explain. "Ambassadors help us to see wrong from right. They help keep the peace instead of a fight. She'd be the one to teach the human race to respect salamanders and our Smoky Mountain place." They all stared at Sarah, and what could she do? Ambassador she'd be, and a diplomat too. So now it was time for some grand lecturing on 2 golden rules of salamandering. "Rule number 1, began Simon right off. "Put back that salamander before you take off. His home's in the Smokies and not home with you. He's happiest here, and the weather's right too." And rule number 2 should never be broken. One to be remembered long after I've spoken. The Great Smoky Mountains have been home since creation, so please treat them kindly when you're here on vacation. They gave her a ribbon that made her proud-hearted. The music began and the party restarted. A race for the fastest began with a shout, and a prize for the best spots was then given out. Near one clump of trees, a scary movie was shown of a salamander chased by a boy just half grown. That kid was just curious and needed to know, if its tail gets yanked off, will another one grow? So don't do stuff like that, guys. The trumpets blasted. A pageant took place to decide which contestant was fairest to face. Not to be missed was a fine diving show, making all in the crowd shout, "Magnifico!" The party went onward throughout the dark night, and Sarah fought sleep off, but try as she might. Her eyes soon grew heavy. She dropped off to sleep and went off to dreamland without counting sheep. Just think if this story had happened to you. Was it simply a dream, or was it all true? Well, Sarah grew up, and now she's a ranger. She protects salamanders from possible danger. So, maybe she dreamed it, but then maybe not. What matters the most is what she was taught. And maybe, just maybe, if you make a request, she'll tell you about that salamander fest. And if Sarah likes you, she'll show you the badge awarded to her by Park Ranger Madge. But look very closely, there's a little bit more. A ribbon attached reads Ambassador. So then on the back side it has, "Have you seen us?" All the different salamanders that live in the Smoky Mountains. So all the different salamanders that you can find right in your backyard. So we have a pygmy salamander, a mountain dusky salamander, a red-spotted newt. We've seen those guys at our house. A long-tailed salamander, 3-line salamander, a zigzag salamander, the black chin red. We've seen a couple of those here. The marbled salamander. I saw one of those not too long ago. Blue Ridge 2-line salamander. And this guy right here with the spots, we've seen him too. Spotted salamander, cave salamander, Blue Ridge Spring salamander, the red cheek salamander, the southern Appalachian slimy salamander, and then this guy's a hellbender. He lives in the creeks. So a couple of people, I've never seen one, but there's a couple of people who fish a lot and stuff say they've seen those too. So they're really big. So it says, looking for salamanders can be lots of fun, but please follow these rules so you don't hurt one. Don't hold salamanders for more than 1 minute or put them in your pocket. Their skin dries out and they can't breathe. They have to be wet. That's why you want to look for them in piles of old leaves and under rocks and stuff, because it stays wetter under there for them. After looking at salamanders, don't put it back under a rock or the log. You might squash it. So just put it back on the ground near where you found it, and it'll find its place to go back. Don't take the salamanders you find in the park home with you. Everything in a national park is protected and should stay right where you found it. So we don't take anything from a national park. We don't take flowers or rocks or anything, because it all belongs there and keeps everything in a balance for the ecosystem. So also, when you go to the national park, please make sure that you don't litter. I know they're closed right now due to the pandemic, but the next time you visit, please don't litter, because it hurts the animals that live there. Plus, it makes it just a real ugly looking place for other people to visit, and we don't want that. We want people to enjoy coming to the national park. Alright, so we're going to make a really cool salamander today. And it's not really anything made out of things that normally get thrown away, unless you like popsicles and you want to clean up a popsicle and use that stick on it. I had these already craft sticks, so no, this is not a reusable one, unfortunately. But you could do that. You could always give them a good washing and use them. But anyways, this is just a regular craft stick. So you need a craft stick. You need a marker. You're going to have some scissors. You're going to need some pipe cleaners or chenille stems, whichever one people call them. I call them pipe cleaners. I think other people call them chenille stems, but whatever. It's the fuzzy ones that have the wire in them. That's what you need. You're going to have some eyeballs. And you're either going to need some kind of glue or tape. Now, I'm going to be using hot glue today. So, kids, if you you need to have a parent help you with this, because you definitely don't want to be burned. You can use liquid glue. It's just going to take a really long time for that pipe cleaner, that chenille stem, to stick to the popsicle stick. Okay, so first of all, this is going to be the body of our salamander. So I'm going to make a spotted salamander. And I decided I'm going to make mine purple. So I'm just going to draw some spots all over the body of my popsicle stick. Mine will be a purple spotted salamander. Super rare in the Smoky Mountains. Oh, at least when Miss Mika makes it, right? Okay, so I've got me some spots. Let me get up there a little bit closer on there. You can do them however you want it. I left this up here because this is where we're going to put the eyes at, okay? Alright, well, if you've got two really small eyes, we're going to go ahead and take those, and we're going to glue them right up here at the top where I didn't put any spots at. So I'm going to put me a dab of hot glue. Remember, if you decide to use hot glue, make sure a parent helps you. Now, I don't think I had any smaller eyes than this, so my salamander is going to have super big eyes, but I didn't have any tinier than this. I don't think. No. So you would need something tiny, or you could use one of those thicker popsicle sticks. But there's my eyes. He looks kind of funny, doesn't he? Alright, now we're going to work on making some legs. So a salamander has 6 legs? Or is that a bug? It's a bug, isn't it? Bug, an insect has 6 legs. A salamander has 4 legs. So I took my pipe cleaner and I cut it into 4 pieces for the legs. But I'm going to put some toes on my legs. So I'm going to cut some super small pieces, about like that. I'm going to cut 2 for each leg. So if I've got 4, 2, 4, 6, 8. I need to have 8 of these guys. So I've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, now I'm going to take my longer leg. And I'm going to take my little toe here. And I'm going to just twist it one on each side. So I've made some little toes for my salamander. Okay, so there's one leg with its toes. I'm going to do the other one. Wrap a toe on this side, wrap a toe on this side, maybe. I'm having a little trouble with it staying. Alright, there, I got it to stay finally. There's that leg. I got 2 more legs to go. I'm going to wrap it around this way. And parents, this would be a good activity for kindergartners and preschoolers because this works on those fine motor skills for sure. There's another leg. You could talk about counting with your preschoolers and kindergartners, 4 legs. Older kids, you could talk about the life cycle of a salamander. You could watch some cool videos on YouTube about salamanders. It'd be fun to go out and hunt for salamanders for sure. Alright, I think I might have made their legs a little too big, so I'm going to cut them down just a little bit. He's already got big eyes. I don't want him to look too goofy. Alright, now on the back side, here's the front side. On the back side, I'm going to put some dots of glue and I'm going to attach the legs to the back of that, okay? Alright, so I got one leg here and one leg here. I'm going to bend them a little bit just so it looks like my salamander is walking. I did mine in a hurry, so mine's going to have one leg longer than the other, but that's okay. He's a rare breed anyways. I'm going to bend these so it looks like my salamander's walking. Okay, now, and salamanders have little tails, so I'm going to take a pipe cleaner, chenille stem, and I'm going to glue it on the very back right here underneath. And I will probably curl it around a little bit so that it looks like a long salamander tail. Alright. So there is my curly salamander. Here is my Smoky Mountain salamander to go with the Smoky Mountain salamander ball that we just read. Super cool little craft to do with your kids. Alright guys, well Miss Greta will be on here tomorrow and she will be doing an activity with everyone, and I'll see you guys again on Wednesday. You all stay safe today and hope everybody stays healthy. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye.